All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening for all the folks joining the webinar. Welcome to today's session on empowering industrial heroes. These are the ones who are working on the front line, keeping the operations running. We're excited to show you how we're delivering really a reimagined experience for how these teams do work. Before we jump in, just a little bit of quick housekeeping. So you can use the Q&A for questions. Both of our presenters today have assured me they have left enough time so we can do some Q&A at the end. And then the recording will be shared after the webinar. So with that said, just briefly introducing today's speakers. So we'll have Halvard Egan. He's the head of Cognite Flows here at Cognite. Andre Alves, head of global head of software, data, and AI practices at Radix. And my name is Ben Skull, and I'll be moderating today's session. So what we'll go through today is a little bit of setup. So why industrial AI is failing the front lines. We'll talk about what we're really excited to announce with the reimagined industrial experience and how we believe Cognite Flows will change that. And then we'll actually get into some real life examples and some demos. And then at the end, open up for Q&A. So please, let's make this interactive and drop in some questions. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Halvard.
Thank you, Ben. So I'm very, very happy to be here today. The launch of Cognite Flows has been a culmination of many years of work for Cognite to really target significant change. But if you allow me to zoom out for a minute before getting to the details, there is a new industrial reality driven by some overlying macro factors. There is a constant supply chain reconfiguration going on, shaped by geopolitics, tariffs, resilience, reshoring. This drives a constant need for change in production, sourcing, logistics, like faster than what has been the case for decades. Energy and capital is constrained more so than it has been in the last 40 years. Infrastructure is aging or is slow to expand. It drives a need for more output from existing brownfield assets. We need to do more with less. And finally, agentic AI is becoming operational for a few companies, the leaders in their spaces. AI is moving already from experiments into real work, planning, maintenance, inspection, troubleshooting, etc. And all these things drives also competitive pressure. And in sum, this means an increase in uncertainty, a more rapid pace of change, which in turn requires higher agility, both from the organizations, the business, but also from the individuals. So we require more from the people and the organizations on their ability to change, essentially, and how fast we change. But in the way of that, there are some problems. So if you go forward, Ben. Industrial data is not AI ready. It's siloed, it's fragmented, it's diverse, it's from different generations of hardware, which means it's not optimized for AI, which in turn creates hallucinations because AI doesn't, out of the box tell you it doesn't know. It just makes things up. If you go to the next one, there's a fragmentation of and outdatedness of the user experience. The UIs in the hands of frontline workers is not what people expect. It's not what you get at home or in any other business. It hasn't been moving at the pace of other software, and it's getting in the way of agility. It's getting in the way of people doing their jobs. The same with the developer experience. If you are a developer building for an industrial user, or if you're a builder working at an industrial company and you learn Python at school, you want to build things, then developer experience just isn't there. As well as site success does not scale. So the moment something finishes after months or even years of development at a single site, The moment you want to roll it out to the next site, you end up spending just as much time. You've just created another silo and repeating the work time after time. That's not the promise of software. It should scale seamlessly across sites, seamlessly across enterprises. And finally, even though agentic AI is disrupting workflows across different industries, most AI solutions, specifically in operations, stall at the pilot stage. They show initial value, but then putting them into production, really trusting them in critical workflows, it's really not happening most places. So I mean, these challenges are challenges that Cognite has essentially worked on all of them for the last 10 years. We started, if you go to the next slide, with bringing together disparate data sources across OT, IT, ET, and everything from 3D and documents to sensor data and maintenance quality, bringing it into a single industrial knowledge graph that is built to solve these problems. That's where we started. We didn't start because that's what we wanted to do. We started because that's what you have to do before you can do what we did next, which is bring agentic AI into industry. So if you want to have a trustworthy AI, you need an industrial knowledge graph. You need that data to be structured and organized and consumable. And finally, now we have increased our focus on the industrial experiences. So layering these things on top of each other, we're very, very proud of what we're able to now build for the end user to really change people's lives and to build use cases, applications that are truly transformative. And that allows us, if you go to the next slide, to do something really remarkable. And now these numbers are big and the promises are huge, and that it wasn't all enabled by us. This is the combination, the convergence of what we've been doing for the last 10 years and the AI revolution that has happened at the same time. So the companies like Cursor, Lovable, Claude, using LLMs to disrupt the app building space, faster than anything has ever been disrupted before. But when you want to solve the problems we talked about, scaling across sites, making it trustworthy, attaching it to actual operational data, engineering data in brownfield operations, then you need what we've been doing. And in combination, we see from our projects at live customers is that we can build and scale industrial workflows 100 times faster than what we previously could, what was previously possible. If you go to the next slide, Ben, our product stack hasn't changed dramatically here. We're still on any cloud. We pull in any data source. We build that knowledge graph. We have Atlas AI with agents. What is new is a few things in the top layer, Cognite Flows. It still contains our out-of-the-box applications. There is a new adaptive experience, but what we'll talk mostly about today are custom applications. Now, what that is to us is a way to take these or any AI developer tool, whatever is best in the market, like Claude, Cursor, or GitHub Copilot, use our developer tools, our skills, our components, our SDKs, and build fantastic user experiences for the industrial user in production and deploy it and host it inside of our product, inside of the platform, meaning you get all the benefits of the security, the authentication, the data structures, etc., meaning that you minimize all the work required on infrastructure and data, which is still the big effort required when you want to take things from pilot and into production and then into scale across an enterprise. If you go to the next one, Ben, this use case we're very, very proud of, and it means a lot to us because it was the first Lighthouse customer where we ran a pilot of what became custom apps in Cognite Flows. So this was at a top 10 global pharma company. They were already 16 months into custom solution development, but nothing was still in production. Nothing was even in the hands of their users. But our team, taking these new AI tools and combining it with the knowledge graph and Atlas AI, were able to first get the first version of an application in the hands of the user in less than a week, then scale that up to 3 applications, combine into a suite of features that solve a set of problems in 6 weeks, and get it into production. Now, if you go to the next slide, Ben, I'll show a quick anonymized video of this application. What's special about this is, of course, it's not the fact that you can build a user experience super fast. Anyone can do that today. The magic of this is that it is on real operational data on the shop floor and approved in production by a pharma company in weeks. And the fact that from that point on, you can take that and scale it across their other facilities, their other sites effortlessly, because the data foundation was already there and it's homogeneous across their enterprise. And beyond that, I mean, what we see is that these user experiences are what people want to use. It is built hand in hand with the user. It is our people sitting in the room with the end user, with the business owner, and solving their problems, iterating in days, which means they get exactly what they want in a record amount of time, which means in turn, these are now tools where change management becomes so much easier because people want to use this tool. It makes their life easier. Majority of what you see on the screen here is, production flow board, essentially a Kanban style, which was physical until this app existed. So it is moving folders from bracket to bracket on the wall in the shop floor. And on top of that, we've added a batch analytics agent to dive into that data through an agentic AI and maintenance support on top of it. So it really kind of shows, I think, the power of the knowledge graph in combination with these AI tools more so than anything else. If you go to the next one, Ben. I'll just quickly mention one more example that I think is very interesting. This application has been built for and with Idemitsu, so a petro company in Japan. And it does quite a few things. The most important one is a root cause analysis support tool. So it introduces their SOP for RCA into the application, which means the application must be tailored to that specific customer to follow their procedure for root cause analysis. You don't have to adapt their root cause analysis to our product. It's the other way around. Now, using that knowledge graph and that agentic layer, we're able to surface all the data needed for the root cause analysis very, very effectively, very, very fast, which lowers the time to do a root cause analysis significantly. But what I think is more important is that Idemitsu is, I would say, maybe ahead of the curve in how they think about these things. But what they are doing is storing information about that root cause analysis, the outcome, what data, what context was used, which means now you've taken information, knowledge, know-how that lives in the operator's head into the system. Now, institutionalizing, structuring human knowledge and combining it with operational data, engineering data, is essential for the scale of AI. It's essential for the hiring of new people, like being able to come into a new company and perform a root cause analysis without years of training and know-how, because you can find what others did before, is exactly the same thing you need if you want to make agents perform this type of work in the future. Because not all data exists in source system. A lot of data exists just in people's head that has been at these facilities for decades. And that is, it's extremely, I think, visionary by Idemitsu, and something we should all learn from in whatever industry we work. Now, if you go to the what I think is my final slide, there's a lot of talk about vibe coding. There's a lot of talk about time to value. We, being born in industry, take a slightly different approach. We take one that is focused on the most valuable problems, the most operational problems, the most critical problems and workflows, which means, vibe-coded cowboy software doesn't cut it. It will never get past IT. It will never get into production. It will never pass security. It will never pass compliance. So what we do is we certify every builder. So every builder needs to be certified. They will be trained. They will be given the right tools to build safe, secure, trustworthy software. Secondly, we will certify every application that gets put in production. It means every application, whoever builds it, we test it, we validate that it is secure, and we make sure that it follows best practices. Now, we're able to do so at a very rapid pace because we're also getting really good at using AI in our processes and figuring out how to use that. So what we see is this means maybe the time to value for a POC can be a few days slower, but the time to scale, the time to something that is in production is drastically reduced because you front load that. Now, it's also our job to provide all the tools, the developer experience, things that make it easy to build something. It's not only us being the judge if something is good or secure. It is our job to make it easy to build something secure. And finally, partners. There is a paradigm shift in professional services in value delivery in the world. And some companies, some professional service companies are leading that charge. They're adopting that new tool set, that new toolkit, and those new ways of working. That more iterative, working with the customer, moving fast, very, very quickly. And so we are certifying the partners we believe are ready for that, the companies that are ahead of the curve on that. And representing one of them today with me is Andre Carvalho from Radix. And I want to say, finally, I think the thing that differentiates the services companies that will do really well in this next paradigm are the ones that are good at two things. It is deep domain knowledge combined with technical expertise, software engineering, because you still need that. Even if you can build the first prototype really fast, you have to ensure that what you've built is maintainable, secure, and solid. So with that, I'll give the word to my dear friend Andre. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Cognite, to the invite. It's a really pleasure to be here today. So, before introducing Radix, I would also like to highlight an important aspect of our partnership with Cognite. So, our investments in Cognite Flow certification and enablement is very important to us. We at Radix strongly believe that accelerating industrial AI adoption is not only about using AI tools. It's about implementing them correctly, securely, and in a scalable way inside enterprise environments. So that's why we made significant investment in Cognite Flow certification, training, and best practices. So rather than build everything from scratch, we build on top of Cognite ecosystems and frameworks, such as Flow, aligning closely with customers' value while establishing a trusted and credible path for delivering industrial solutions faster. So today, many AI code and automation tools exist in the market. You guys probably are using some of those. But the real challenge is not simply generating code. It is ensure that these solutions actually work reliably inside complex industrial environments and solve real operation problems. And that is exactly where the combination of Cognite platform, Cognite AI filters, and Radix engineering expertise become extremely powerful, because together we help customers implement these solutions correctly, accelerate adoptions, and scale industrial initiatives with confidence. Can I move to the next one? So, before dive a little bit more in Cognite Flow and exploit the new AI capabilities, Let me first give a quick overview who we are at Radix. So Radix is a global engineering and technology company specializing in industrial digital transformation. We help industries such as energies, mining, chemicals, manufacturers to improve operational efficiency, reliability, and decision make through data and advanced technologies. Over the years, Radix has grown significantly, and today we support more than 180 customers globally, with over 4,000 transformation projects delivered across 35 countries. So we have a team, more than 1,080 dedicated experts that include engineers, software engineers, data science, and industrial technology specialists. But what truly makes Radix unique is the combination of deep industrial engineering expertise with strong capabilities in software development, data engineering, AI, and operation technologies. So we understand both the physical industrial process and the digital technologies required to transform them. And can I move on, please, Ben? Yeah. So, and then natural leads into why our partnership with Cognite is so strategic for us, because together, Radix and Cognite combine powerful industrial data capabilities with deep domain expertise to accelerate digital transformation at scale. So Cognite's data fusion brings a powerful foundation to contextualize and operation industrial data with AI features, while Radix brings implementation experience, industrial knowledge, and solution delivery expertise. So together, we help customers transform industrial data into scalable operation solutions and measurable business outcomes. And more recently, this partnership has evolved even further into industrial AI innovations and intelligence workflows solutions. So the goal for us is not only build technologies, but to deliver a scalable solution that creates measurable business impact for our clients. Can you go next, please? So just to give you a sense of the scale and practical impact of this collaboration. So over the last few years, we have delivered more than 50 industrial use cases across multiple sectors and operation domains. These solutions range from operation dashboards, control towers, predictive analysis, asset performance application, digital workflow, production optimization, and AI-driven operation insights. But what really is important here is not the number of those applications that we deliver together, but it's also the ability to us to scale this solution across enterprise environment. And this is where one of the big industry challenges appears, because many companies still struggle to move from pilot projects to product and scale deployments. So our focus has always been building solutions that are scalable, maintainable, and capable of generating real operation impact. And this is where Cognite Data Fusion and Cognite Flow becomes a key enablers, because it helps us to accelerate solution development, industrialization, and enterprise adoption. Next, please. Now, one of the key reasons we are able to scale these solutions successfully is because we have methodologies. And one of the methodologies that we use is the spec-driven development, right? And this becomes very important when build solution with Cognite Flow, because Cognite Flow use this workflow as base of the solutions. So because once you begin combine multiple agents, operation workflow, industrial data, and AI reasoning, complexity increases very quickly. And this is exactly why SDD becomes critical. So instead of building AI solutions in a ad hoc way, just giving prompts to the AIs, we define an executable specification that clearly describes they expect behaviors, workflows, validations, operations rules from the beginning. These specifications become continuous validates through the development lifecycle. This approach helps us to create solutions that are more reliable, scalable, maintainable, and easy to evolve over time. It also creates and this is very important because it creates much faster feedback loop between industrial domain experts, developers, clients, and AI systems. And when we combine Cognite Flow with this methodology, allow us to accelerate industrial application development while still maintaining governance, quality, and operation trust. Next, please. All right. So with this context in mind, who is Radix, how we work with Cognite, and how we approach scalable industrial AI development, let's now look at the technology itself and explore how Cognite Flow and the new AI capabilities are helping simplify and accelerate industrial application development. I'm going to share my screen right now so we can go through the application itself. All right, just a second here. Yeah, so here, everyone is seeing my screen? We are good? Okay, so here we are in Cognite Data Fusion. I just log in Cognite Data Fusion and I go to the customer apps here and I choose the one that I'm going to show to you today. That's OE Monitor. I'm going to change it here for the dark mode. All right. So before I explain a little bit more how we use Flow to build these solutions, let's give a little bit context about this application. So this is our OE Monitor application for a nitric acid production plant. So it's a small plant, it's a chemical plant, a small plant. This application provides a centralized operation view of production performance, equipment health, and quality indicators across the plant. So we have these three main KPIs here for the whole plant. This plant is divided in three main processes. So we have the pre-reaction process, we have the heat recovery, and we have the ox observation area. So each one of those processes has equipment to perform the phase that this plant needs to do. Each stage of this process play a critical role in our overall production efficiency, operation reliability, and final product quality process. What this application does is consolidate operation insights across all these areas in a single monitoring experience, helping teams identify losses, improve decision-making, and accelerate operation response. So how we'll build that? How you build these solutions use Cognite Flow? So the first thing that we did, I'm going to move here, was define the specifications using the methodology that I told you guys. And then we come up with this folder here that is the specification for this feature for the OE monitor. And here in the specification feature, we have a summary of this application. So that's saying what these applications are, what the purpose of these applications. We have the scope of the applications. So this is a OE dashboard. There are some main KPIs. We want to track all losses. We have the daily production, daily targets, daily forecast for the plant. We have the availability and health sections for each one of areas. We have some dashboards that we can track the quality by hour. We can drop down to see each equipment for each area and see how these equipments perform. So here, basically, I'm just giving to the flows a bit of context what we want to build. And then I can say also, what's out of scope, what I'm not going to do right now. I'm not going to take care about authentication and authorization because Cognite does that for me already. I'm not going to integrate with real-time historian for this version of these features, and then I can list all out of scope that I need. I'm going also to define the users. Who is going to use these solutions? So I define the key stakeholders for the solutions. Plant operation, process engineers, maintenance engineers, and I give a little bit of context of what this user is going to do, right? The next item is primary user flow. So the primary user flow. So what I want to see first. Okay, I want to have a dashboard with all indicators, and then I can select a specific equipment and go in deeper to this equipment. After that, we put together all the requirements. And this is this important phase of building solutions using Cognite Flow because this needs to tell the AI the roles that we want to implement. So here we are going to tell the AI all the requirements that we gather with the domain expert and with the users, and we are going to list everything here. So for the dashboard, for the availability health, for the performance, for the quality, for the equipment list down, and for the Atlas AI assistant that we are going to have to this application, right? And then we go further. I'm not going to expend more time here, but we go further just saying how we are going to build the data model, what's the entities, and then there is a little bit technical requirement that we need to add here. All right. Then with all these informations in place, we go to the flow, right? So what I'm showing here, this is the project, right? So I just create this project from scratch, just giving a specific command line using Flow. So Flow brings with all the structure, all SDKs, all libraries, everything that I need to build these solutions on top of Cognite. So everything is ready for me to use, right? And then, as I said, I create the requirements, and I also did some prototypes of this application. So I just have some prototypes to show the user what exactly I want to deliver to him and if it's is aligned with all the requirements, right? And then I start to build. I go to the agency here and start, okay, now you have all the requirements, create the plan for me for this specification, and they start to build the solutions. Of course, there is a process to do that. It's not that simple. We still need to have the development life cycle phases for here, like check everything, test everything, but we can do this very, very, very faster. That's the point right now, you know. I'm going to back to the demo again. So this is the demo. We have this KPI. I can track the performance average by hour. I can track the quality by hour. I can track the loss here that I'm having. I can check the performance for each set of equipments. I can see all my work orders that is impacting uh, my site production. So which type of failure I'm having, which ones impacting most um, in the availability, performance, or quality process, right? And if I go deeper, I can like select one specific set of equipments for specific areas. Let's say I want to get in the turbines. So I have two turbines. I have some KPIs here, how long it's running without failure, the availability, the overall health of this turbine. And then I can go further and see more KPIs related to these equipments. So I can do a full analysis of all data that I already have in the Cognite in a easier way for the users to get insights and take decisions, right? I mean, also can integrate these solutions uh, with Atlas AI to ask things specifically related to my data knowledge, right? About the specific data that I have from the OE. So basically, this is what I want to show you here today is the power to build that. Um, let's try to do like a new feature here. I already grab with my user, my end users, a new feature here. So he want to me to create an alert card on the OE dashboard. So they give me all the rules for me. We discuss together, and this is exactly what he wants, right? So I'm going to copy this here. I'm going to go to my agent and say, I'm going to put it here in plain mode, say, let's copy here, right? So let's define the below requirement in the specs to create this new feature. So what I'm asking to the Cognite flows is plan how we are going to get these requirements and how we are going to fit these to generate my new feature and my new code, right? So I'm going to play here and we are going to see what the AI is going to bring to us. So they are reviewing the spec structure, the dashboard layouts to plan how we are going to document these requirements, right? It's going to take a few minutes to do that. And then what the AI is doing, it's looking for the whole requirement that I already have. It's planning how to add these new requirements to my spec and seeing what is the impact to add these new features. And it also plan how it will be built. I hope it's not take too much longer. Let's see. Okay, so here's the plan. So we have 5 to-dos to do. Let's see here. We have 5 to-dos, right? We are going to update our specification to incorporate these new requirements. We are going to update my data model and task with critical equipment alert implementation task that I need to check. And this also will create a new card in my application. We will add some CSS code that's going to use to build the UI UX experience. This will create like a helper for the alert view. That's basically how I'm going to communicate with Cognite with the backend. And then at the end, this will test run my code, right? So let's build that. I'm going to change it here for instead of plain here. I'm good with my plan. So let's build it. So again, it's going to take a while, but now the AI using all the Cognite Flow libraries, the SDKs, the agents, the rules, everything that the Cognite put together in the framework to create this new code. So it will generate the code, then we are going to test this code, and then we can deploy this to do all the quality assurance process for these new features. So that's basically what I want to show here. Let's see if we have time to see this in the application. So it's update my specification. So you can see here that it's add new information to my applications, add to out of the scope. I have here the requirements that I needed, all the rules that I needed. Okay. How I'm going to create this critical equipment alert, which changes I'm going to do, what's the criteria for the accepting criteria for these requirements, what's the accept criteria for the equipment alerts. So I have all the requirement that I need here, right? And now it starts to build the code for me, right? I'm not going to do this today. Like we have a new phase when the code is ready. Like we need to do a pull request, code review. This all technical process that we need to follow to guarantee that this code is has good quality. This code meets all my requirements, and then this code is tested, and this code is not breaking anything else. So we need to do this. It's part of our lifecycle development process. We are not going to do this here because we are not going to have time, but let's finish and just run the application so we can try to see this in your card. You can see in the right here in the right panel, all changes that these new requirements is making my code. So it is updates some code that I already have. This is create some, this is modifying some ones. This is create some new code for me as well. So here I can track all the modifications and check if it makes sense or not. So there is this human in the loop part that is very important. We need to guarantee that everything that has been created by the AI make it real sense and it's not hallucinated. And that's so it's done, right? Here's the everything that was done. So the specification document was updated, the implementation was done, the test was created, and this is the behavior, right? So the alert should to show for turbine one at 67% a critical alert. So let's try to run this so we can see this in their application. I'm going to open here. So here, this is what we did. Like we created these alerts, say that turbine one health is below safe threshold. So we just add a new feature to our application, I don't know, in 10 minutes, right? So that's the power that Cognite flows bring to us. Of course, we have to do all the data foundation, prepare everything for the AI to work well. But then with this base of the data foundation, we can build this new requirement as fast as ever. So I think now we can go to the Q&A session.
Yep. I'll take this
Let's,
screen back. Andre, that was
thank you.
great demo. I think one thing to call out too is there's speed to development, but there's speed to iterate. And so we know, and as Radix knows, when you scale an application across multiple sites, all those sites have their specific nuances. So the ability for developers and subject matter experts to work together to take a scaled application and not force fit it at every site, but allow every site to get the right information exactly how they want is really, really powerful stuff. So I'll take the screen. Halvard, do you want to wrap us up and then we'll move into some Q&A?
Yes, sir, I can. Yeah, just to summarize, what Cognite has always been focused on is closing the AI-ready data gap, making industrial data ready for use with AI, for use with any new technology, essentially. We're now able to, with the power of the new generative AI building tools, build production-ready workflows 100 times faster on that data foundation. We ensure certified quality, certified security through a review process where we certify the application, the builder, the partner. And finally, the way to really get transformational work done is with great partners like Radix that know how to use these tools, that adopt new ways of working, that don't hold on to the old ways of doing things, but really embrace it, and that come with domain knowledge, knows how your business operates. And with that, I guess we can open up for some questions.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one in here, and I think this one actually needs to be pulled apart a little bit. But this was when you were talking about the Idemitsu use case, and the question is asking, can you use this RCA in an analysis agent to actually prevent the issue from happening? So I think there's a specific on this, and then there's also a broader answer on information being captured in the knowledge graph for reuse. I set you up nice there.
Exactly right. It's all about capturing that data so that you can do many things with it. If that is humans finding that data the next time a similar problem arises in a completely different site on a different side of the globe, or if it is that you want to use that data set of RCAs to maybe have agents look for similarities. Or looking at specific RCAs and then finding, okay, do we have similar equipment? Can we find like what are the rules we set up on other equipment in other places to avoid similar failures? There's all these possibilities, and I think the only thing I would maybe think about is, it's always about applying the right technology for the job. I spent a lot of time working with data scientists that have been around for a couple of iterations of new technologies, and what is the cheapest, most efficient method to monitor and predict? Sometimes, agents are the right choice, LLMs are the right choice. Sometimes it's machine learning. Sometimes it's, just very basic math and thresholds. So, but I mean, what's super important there is now you have the data foundation basis to then apply these different methodologies and consort them into a holistic approach. So yeah, I thank you for that question, Ramon.
Awesome. I've got a couple other ones here. Can we talk a little bit about, and Andre, I think this one is towards you, how you're judging customer readiness when it comes to Cognite and Radix partnership, and when you meet with customers, what are some of the gaps that you typically see?
Wow, that's a great question. So in our experience, the customers who benefit the most are the ones that already recognize industrial data as a strategic assets and understand the digital transformation is not only a IT initiative, and it's an operation transformation initiative. So for us, the most successful organization usually have three key elements in place. First, they have a clear business problem that they want to solve. Second, they have some levels of data foundation available, even if the data is fragmented across history in mass systems, ERP platforms, or operation database. And third, they have organizational alignment between operations, engineers, and digital teams. Now, the gap we commonly see are actually very constant across the industries. Many companies still struggle with disconnecting industrial data, limited the contextualization, and difficult to scale solutions beyond pilot projects. And another major challenge is governance. So many organizations can create an isolated AI experience, but moving to a production safety and reliability inside industrial environments is much more difficult. And for me, this is exactly where the Cognite and Radix combine expertise to do that, to approach that. So Cognite provides industrial data foundation and contextualization layer. That's fantastic that we can connect all silos data source, and then Radix can bring the gaps between industrial operations, engineering process, and scalable solution deliveries. So yeah, that's pretty much what we think here.
Awesome. We got a little burst of questions here. Does Cognite Flow support the complete application development assurance process?
Well, it's a bit of a broad question. So what Cognite Flows gives you is a place to host the application with version control. So imagine you will use something like GitHub to do version control, but every deployment is then versioned, and there's only one published version, which is the certified one. Today, that's kind of the extent of it, with some more lifecycle management after. But what we really want to do in the next, and I'll start to mention a little bit of where we head next, is take that quite a bit further. So I think with today's systems, you're absolutely able to use the system and have your process and application ISO certified or SOC 2 certified. But we want to lean more into that and maybe provide even more controls into the product on observability, on logging, etc. But the fact that you have the entire data layer in the underlying platform with all the tooling there means that the platform itself is SOC 2 certified. You have authentication, authorization functionality built into the platform. So it removes a lot of the challenges from that part of the compliance quality assurance. So I would say, though, what we're not trying to do is replace a entire development platform experience, because there are already fantastic tools. And I'll bundle this with, there's a question next to it, which is, when compared to Claude, you can also build apps like this. Because we don't build a tool like Claude. You can use Claude with Cognite Flows. You can use GitHub Copilot, whatever AI tool is out there, because that's the easy part. The hard part is, what do you do after you built that pilot? How do you ensure that the users using that only have access to the data they should have access to? What is the infrastructure you run that on? How do you manage the life cycle, all these things? And that's the part of the problem we solve for. So we don't try to compete. This is not a tool to compete with Claude or Cursor or whatever is popular next week. It is a place where that can become an operational, production grade scaled application. Can I just add one more? Because there's a question on supporting to deploy applications
Yep.
outside. I'm very happy for that question. Cognite, I've been with Cognite for 9 years, so almost since we were started. Our founder and still our CTO, Geir Engdahl, has always come with a mentality of openness, which has been pretty rare in the industrial space. Our documentation is still openly available. All our APIs are open and well documented externally. And this is no different. All the developer tools are available for you to deploy anywhere. You can build against a Flow application, uses the same API as any application built anywhere. So if you want to build an application and deploy it on Heroku or whatever place you want, you're perfectly fine to do so. And we will give you all the developer tools you use to build with flows to do so. So we're still an open ecosystem. The hosting part inside the platform is a convenience feature that makes it a lot easier if you don't have that, application platform yourself to deploy into, if you don't want to manage that infrastructure. So it's full openness and optionality and convenience. It's not trying to lock you into that one direction.
Halvard, can you tie that out with, there's a question on Databricks and Snowflake, how it's a replacement and or how it leverages?
Right. So, I think platforms like Databricks and Snowflake are exceptionally good at a couple of things. They're very much built for the data scientist, the data expert, the analyst. And they're very, very good at it. And they have a lot of features in the kind of machine learning space and the big, deep query space that we're not trying to compete with. And they're very, very strong with tabular data specifically. Now, the comparison I would like to make is what is it that you're trying to build and for whom? So I would argue that if you're trying to build an end user application for the field, for the front lines, Cognite is much better suited than a platform like Databricks and Snowflake, especially when you're wanting to leverage diverse multimodal data sources. You want operational data, you want sensor data, you want PNIDs, you want 3D models, and you want tabular data like maintenance or finance. So when you want to combine those and you want to build an end user experience for an operational user, Cognite is a really, really the best choice. And part of the reason is also the fact that our knowledge graph is built to serve applications. If you want to build an end user application and you have one of these platforms, you're going to have to do data preparation for application consumption. And then you're going to have to figure out a lot more infrastructure, authentication, structuring. Whereas with us, you can just build the end user experiences and it consumes that data foundation directly. So the layers you have to build is significantly more complex in any of those platforms. But it also maybe gives you some of the flexibility that we wouldn't, right? Because you can do all that. So it's a little bit of what abstraction layer do you want to be at? What is the users? What is the type of data? I would add that both of these companies are partners of us. Most of our customers have one or both of these, or something like Fabric in addition to Cognite. And we do data exchange. And on our roadmap for the next half is several zero copy initiatives with data sharing between different platforms as well, so that you can use the data sets in Cognite to do the machine learning exercises in Databricks. And you can use data from Fabric as a data product into CDF in these applications. So I think it's all about picking the right tool for the right job. And the larger enterprises see that there is a combination of platforms is probably the right choice.
Yeah, thanks, Halvard. Andre, we got a couple coming to you. These will be the last couple of questions we have time for today. But for those looking to implement apps such as the OE example you showed, what frameworks or guides do you recommend? It says we read next, but broader education, I think.
Yeah, for sure, I do recommend to be in certification Cognite Flow. For me, it's the more important part because we can understand how Cognite is designed, the framework, we can understand in deeper knowledge how things are connected, like how we can take it advantages of SDKs to create to connect to a specific data model, how we can approach authentication, authorization. But for me, the right way is to get the team that is going to work with Cognite flows and Cognite certificated. And that's what we are doing here, Radix. Like I am certificate in Cognite Flow, and now we are training other Radix to learn how to work with the platform. So yeah, I also go to the Cognite documentation, try to read, go to the Cognite Hub, try to connect with the community, ask your doubts about the challenge that that you are facing. But the main point is get certificated.
Yeah. And then sort of building on that, also another one for you, accelerators that you have in place to scale Cognite solutions and deployment across facilities from a Radix side.
Well, that's it depends because here we are. It's depend what we are want to accomplish. We have been using a lot of AI tools to help our daily tasks. Like if you are prototyping, we have some tools to create the prototypes. If you are do the requirements, we have some tools to use the requirements. But for to build the applications itself, we are very aligned with the Cognite flows. We are using tools like Coso and Cloud together with flows to accelerate our performances in build those solutions. But of course, it will depend of the challenge. My recommendations, if you want to start with Cognite flows, with Coso and Cloud. If you want to like to build end user applications on top of Cognite. But and then you can like evaluate if it's the right tool that we want to use, or if you want to migrate for another LLM or another tool that will integrate with flows to build those solutions.
Awesome. All right, we're running up on time, so I'll give one last plug. If you want to learn more about this, in June 10th, Radix will also be there. We have an impact event in Houston. It is free to register. June 17th, we will have an event in Oslo. I'll say thank you to our speakers. Thanks to all the listeners, and enjoy the rest of your day.